How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about our second character coming in version 1.3, and that is going to be Lighter, which Lighter, in all honesty, I'm kind of upset. Not specifically because of Lighter. I love Lighter. I think he's by far one of the coolest units in my honest opinion. For me personally, I really love his design. I really love the way his animations are. I just hate that he's a stunner because we already have a really good stunner already, which is Ambi for everybody already, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people already have Ambi's dupes, which make her really great. We have Coleta for those that have Coleta. We have Lycan for those who like the fire team or the ice team, and then we have Chingy as well, which a lot of people sought after because she had that high stun damage multiplier and was a really good stunner overall. Lighter is going to be a fire stunner, which is going to be part of the Sons of Kaladin faction, which is going to be very interesting because right now I don't think Sons of Kaladin really needs a stunner specifically, and we are going to get into what makes him, I guess, say valuable to be a stunner. But when you look at his faction itself, you have Bernice, you have Caesar, you have Lucy and Piper, and realistically you would throw Lighter on there for a Sons of Kaladin attacker, but sadly we don't have one yet. We've had defense, we have anomaly, have another anomaly, now we have a support, and now we have a stunner. So we're almost done filling in all the roles for the Sons of Kaladin. We're gonna have to wait a good bit because, as we know, Yanagi is going to be coming with Lighter as well. And we have no idea who's going to come out after these guys, which we're all excited to see. Which, with Section 6 being in this patch, we're definitely going to have to wait and see what's going to happen with the next patch, which possibly being more Section 6. And if there's more Section 6, you already know what that means. But going into Lighter specifically, there's no reason to use them on basically a Sons of Kaladin team because we don't have an attacker. But we do have Bernice in the game right now, who is fire damage, and this is going into our first set of things to talk about with Lighter, which is going to be that he is going to be a stunner that is really quick at stunning, so I think even faster than Chingy, but he is specifically for fire / ice characters because he reduces fire and ice res to a lot of the enemies in the game. And I think it's pretty cool to give support to not so used characters and giving a small buff to characters that have been falling down in terms of power for quite some time with all these anomaly releases, because as we know, anomaly has just been taking over the world. And with seeing how he's able to stun very quickly, it's really nice to see that we might be seeing a faster stunner for these characters, which you are able to make it last longer in terms of the days or the stun itself, which is going to help out again a lot of these characters that are going to come out in the future. So the characters specifically that are going to work really well with Lighter are going to be Soldier 11 100%. That's going to be a huge buff for her, and Soldier 11 has been getting non-stop buffs from every single character coming out for the most part, or a majority of them. We got Lighter, we got Caesar, we got Bernice, we have a lot of really great characters that have been coming out alongside these new releases, and now Soldier 11 is getting buffed as you see on the screen right now. Same thing goes for Ellen. Ellen as well is going to be getting a buff because she is ice and he lowers ice and fire resistance. So this is a really good thing. Not only are you able to give off a ice and fire res down, it is going to also make it so that they last longer in that stun mode, which means that Ellen can get more rotations off. Ellen's able to combo more, which is a really nice thing to see. Now, it is an interesting team that they did put together here, which I can see some merit in all honesty, just because Lighter does have supportive abilities, which is Lycan is here for the stun damage multiplier, which it doesn't seem like he has a stun damage multiplier. If he does, he's definitely going to be a really strong character in the game. If he does not, he's going to be playing more of a stun / support, which I think is a very interesting thing for Lighter specifically. So what we have here in this team, which these are more showcase teams, they're not realistically the meta of meta teams. We don't know how the calculations are, we don't know how it feels until we get to showcase them off ourselves. But looking at Lycan, he's going to be giving off the stun damage multiplier, he gets off the ice decrease on the res, and then we have Lighter, who's giving off the ice damage bonus or the ice res down even further, and even faster stun and a longer or prolonged stun. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that we're looking at right now when it comes to how these synergize between two different stunners, because it actually makes a lot of sense when you look at how Ellen is played. A lot of the characters in the game right now, unless you have dupes of Rina or you have the M6 Okaku, a lot of these guys take up a lot of time off of the stun meter, or a lot of time off of the stun that a lot of these enemies would have, making it harder for Ellen to get in as many rotations as she possibly would want. So that eats up a lot of time. If you have two supports, or two stunners I mean, one being Lycan with ice res, decrease, stun damage multiplier, the other being a faster stunner, but is able to decrease ice res by a lot more and prolong the stun period, that might prove really well, and that might actually be her best team, depending on how it all boils up to when it comes to the numbers, because we all know the Sokaku buff is absolutely insane, and we also see other characters also being put into Ellen teams that people are trying to figure out if it's worth it or not, like Nicole. So there's a lot of stuff that we are definitely going to be looking at when it comes to Lighter himself. But again, he's going to be working on buffing someone like Ellen, someone like Soldier 11. Bernice is also a pretty good character for that as well, because she is fire. And realistically, we can expect another character in the future that is going to be just as strong, or a really strong contender to be with Lighter, which is Miyabi, which we all know from the CBT1 footage from a long time ago that she was an ice character, and we don't know if she's changed element at all. We did get that cutscene in Hollow Zero where she is ice, or she's doing ice damage, and that would be really cool. So this might be a way to prepare for Lighter when it comes to grabbing him and then using him with Miyabi. We have no idea if that is 100% the best plan ever. We are going to be getting drip marketing by the time Lighter does come out, and we also will be getting the stream as well for the next few characters. So there's a lot of stuff to look around when it comes to seeing what is available around us. If you really love Soldier 11, if you really love Ellen, this is a character that you might want to pick up. If you really like the chance at Miyabi, we're gonna have to wait and see how that works out if she gets drip marketed afterwards. That is definitely something we're gonna have to wait and see if that's going to be basically the case. But he does look like a really cool character. He has a pretty nice passive, which, if I'm not wrong, he is able to get his bar when he's not on field, which is pretty strong in my honest opinion. I think being able to, there you go, it says he recovers morale as teammates face off against opponents, so he is able to gain meter off field, which is pretty strong. He doesn't need to take up a lot of on field time, which is really good, and he doesn't need to take a lot of he gets to get bonuses or benefits from being off field while your DPS is doing damage, which he's going to synergize very well in a lot of the teams that he's going to be in, which it seems to be the case that they don't want a character to take up all of the field time, unless you're someone like Ellen, who that's basically your playstyle. But realistically, I think they're making characters where they're more quick swappy, they're more synergistic. You bring out this character during this time, you bring out that character during that time. We intermingle every time our buffs are gone, and it makes a pretty nice and smooth experience for a lot of the opponents or battles that we're going to be fighting against. Realistically, when it comes to his full priority, it might be a little bit lower. He does seem really strong in regards to being a stunner and also being a debuffer for certain characters in the game. Does he look super OP that everyone needs to pull him? Not necessarily. He does look like a specialized stunner, which in all intents and purposes I'm very excited for, because I love Soldier 11. I do love Ellen as well, so this is a pretty big buff for their teams and a pretty cool thing to see. But he's not a universal stunner like Chingy was. Chingy definitely was a really nice stunner to grab onto because she was universal, she was able to stun quickly, and she was also able to give that enormous stun damage multiplier, which seems that Lighter may not have, because when he is stunning in this trailer or in this promotional video for the stream, I don't see an extra bit of stun damage multiplier. As you see, it still keeps the 150% and it isn't anything higher. So we're definitely gonna have to wait and see how that's going to work out when it comes to Lighter being in the game. I do think him being able to gain resources off field is a pretty good thing. That's going to be a very big pro when it comes to his gameplay. And other than that, he has a pretty niche use, so he is gonna have a stay in some teams for quite some time, just because he is a fire slash ice buffer, and we can expect this to happen a little bit more often for other characters, whether it be supports, whether it be for defense characters. We might see a lot more things happen when it comes to having specialized elements with certain roles. So maybe next time we might see electricity and physical being together or anything like that. The world's the limit when it comes to what these characters are capable of, and realistically he does look like he's a really cool character for the fire and ice teams. Doesn't look super high in priority when it comes to what we're going to see in the future, but realistically really nice to see, really nice to know that what we're getting. But we're gonna have to wait and see how he is when we showcase him, but I can't wait to do so. I wonder how much damage he's doing as well. That is also something to think about, because realistically a lot of the stunners that we have in the game don't necessarily do a lot of damage. So if Lighter is able to do quite a bit of damage plus stun, that might be a pro to talk about in the future. But that's gonna be it for the rest of this video. Let me know what y'all guys think about Lighter, and let me know who you like more, Yanagi or Lighter, or maybe you're waiting for Miyabi still. which we have no signs of at the current moment. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.